Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. It's 2020, and we're all led to believe that today, everybody in the United States wants to have a crossover. However, that isn't necessarily the case, as there's still one segment in the automotive industry that's actually still experiencing growth in terms of new options on the market, but also is still experiencing some interest, and that is the luxury sedan segment. Now today, we're checking out the all-new 2020 Cadillac CT5. I first saw this car in New York at the auto show back in April of 2019, and my first impressions were that Cadillac has finally made a car that could definitely appeal to Americans in this segment. As we've seen over the last few years, German brands are moving away from luxury sedans and emphasizing growing their crossover lineup and growing that portfolio. And this actually opens up an opportunity for brands like Cadillac, Genesis, Volvo, Alfa Romeo, and Jaguar to capture a new demographic of consumer. A consumer doesn't want crossovers. Now, when it comes to the CT5, it's replacing the CTS. And, well, I think when it comes to its new pricing and also what it offers, it could most certainly surprise you. Now, before I get in this review, I'd like to thank Colonial Cadillac in Woburn, Massachusetts for allowing me to do this review. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Cadillac inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. At the beginning of a new decade, the conventional way of thinking in the automotive industry is that you need a crossover-dominant lineup in order to grow. While that's unfortunately the case for many brands, Cadillac is in a unique situation, as they're bucking the trend with all-new sedans that are repositioned in terms of size and pricing to introduce consumers to the luxury car market. A primary concern among car buyers is that the average price of vehicles continues to increase, making once affordable cars out of reach for most Americans. Cadillac, understanding this, may have found the solution with the all-new CT5. And for the first time in many years, there's a growing sense of optimism surrounding the American manufacturer. With a starting price of just over $37,000, the CT5 is almost $10,000 cheaper than the CTS it's replacing. The model we have today is a premium luxury, which will offer additional interior amenities and comforts, and has a sticker price just over $50,000. Due to its new price tag, journalists have pinned the CT5 against the BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, and Mercedes-Benz C300. But as we're going to find out throughout this review, this car is truly in a league of its own. In terms of dimensions, the CT5 is about 8 inches longer than the 3 Series, and is actually closer in size to the Audi A7. Which is important to note because of the Cadillac Sportback and Grand Coupe-like C-pillar design language. Compared to the CTS, the CT5 is 2 inches shorter, but 2 inches wider than its predecessor. Grabbing your attention almost immediately is Cadillac's signature front fascia that's beginning to appear on most of their new models. As of very recently, the brand has begun decreasing the amount of chrome surrounding the front grille and integrating design cues taken from the ATS and CTS-V, which makes this car far more appealing when looking at it straight on. Full LED headlights and turn signal indicators come standard on all trims for the CT5. And with the lighting package, you'll also receive front cornering lights to help with cornering on dimly lit roads. Moving around back, full LED taillights along with dual exhaust tips gives the CT5 a clean and upscale look. It's the rear that deserves some attention, as the sportback road presence really helps distinguish this car from the CTS and even the CT6. While the CT5 is categorized as a sedan, current design trends are certainly noticeable, which makes this car appear modern while also classy. Coming around to the side profile, 18-inch alloy wheels come standard, but you can option for 19s, which will be an additional $1,100 option. The CT5 will also receive body color folding side mirrors with turn signal indicators. And with the parking package, they'll be upgraded to power folding, along with a list of safety features, such as the 360-degree top view camera, pedestrian detection, and rear automatic braking. For performance, the CT5 is powered by a 2-liter twin-scroll turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. For the premium luxury, you can option for a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, which will bump the performance numbers up to 335 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Models with this engine should be arriving within the next month or so. For the drivetrain, you'll have the ability to choose between rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, setting us up for the V-Series, which will give enthusiasts a car they can fully enjoy. For fuel economy, you can expect to receive 21 miles per gallon in the city and 31 miles per gallon on the highway. Inside, you're greeted by 14-way power-adjustable heated and ventilated leather seats for both the driver and passenger as part of the climate package. In front of you, between the analog gauges, an 8-inch digital display brings modern tech to the CT5. And by using the buttons mounted on the heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, you can scroll through a variety of information, from tire pressure and fuel economy to turn-by-turn navigation. Moving over to the infotainment system, you'll get a 10-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, along with onboard navigation and the upgraded Bose Performance Series 15-speaker premium audio system. Resolution and responsiveness are good, but more importantly for the CT5 is an all-new center console layout with a rotary dial and quick access buttons, which allow you to keep your eyes on the road while scrolling through menus. You'll get a rear backup camera with trajectory and rear backup assist. And mentioned earlier, a top view camera is optional. Below the touchscreen, you'll find the buttons for your dual zone climate control and 3-level heated and ventilated seats. This new button layout is a step up from the CTS, which shows Cadillac's commitment to offering an interior that rivals the Europeans. Taking a look at the rest of the center console, a wireless phone charging pad will come standard on the premium luxury. You'll also find your drive mode selector and auto start stop button in front of your gear shift lever. For the center storage compartment, you'll find enough room for a smartphone or small items, along with the USB, USB-C, and 12-volt outlet. And rounding out the front seating area, a dual-pane sunroof will let in a lot of natural light for all occupants inside. Now for passengers in the back, they're going to get a decent amount of legroom here. In fact, I have a few inches of room to work with, even with the seat adjusted all the way back. Now, I'm 5'5", so someone around 5'8", 5'9", could most certainly still be comfortable back here. What I really want to point out, though, is that these seats, the rear seats, are actually on a recline. And I think with the CT5 is that they're really emphasizing comfort all around for both the driver and passengers. But more importantly, I see the CT5 as being a Grand Tourer, where even when it comes to the exterior appearance, it has more of a Grand Coupe and sportback style to it. So I think with Cadillac, they're trying to make a car that is really a road trip car, a car that if you're going to be in the back for a long period of time, you're still going to be comfortable. And I have to say, with these leather seats provide a good amount of support, I could definitely see myself comfortable on a longer drive. But let's be fair. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think the CT5 is better suited for just 4 passengers all around, especially for someone even at my height. The rear hump is aggressive. So that actually isn't necessarily something that surprises me, because as I'm seeing with the CT5, and I'm going to consider it a Grand Tourer, you don't usually you're not usually able to fit 5 people in the back. So for me, I think when it comes to this car, it's not a BMW 3 Series competitor. It's not an A4 or C300 competitor. This is a Grand Tourer at an affordable price range. But let's continue on with the back and see the driver's side. Now, driver's side seat is adjusted to someone of my height, and I have unbelievable amounts of room here. I mean, usually you won't experience this depending on how tall your driver is, but I have a ridiculous amounts of room, and I'm really comfortable back here. But also, continuing on with the fact that I don't see the CT5 as being a competitor to a 3 Series Mercedes-Benz CT100 or A4, is because there's a lot more legroom back here than what you're going to see from German competitors and even other competitors in this segment. I think what Cadillac is really trying to do here is emphasize luxury at an affordable price range. And again, with that Grand Touring style to it, this is exactly, if you are focused on having passengers in the back, this is exactly what you're looking for, especially at around $50,000. Now, also back here, you're going to find 2 rear air vents, a 12-volt outlet, and a USB-C input. And you're also going to get 2 cup holders and a center armrest. Now, checking out rear cargo space, inside you're going to find 12 cubic feet of rear cargo room. However, there's a few points I want to make, and one being there is compartments for extra storage. So you have one on the side, like a nice little cubby, where I'd probably put my car detailer or some small items. And then beneath the floor mat, there's some extra space. So if you have anything you don't want people to steal or see, you can just put them down there and they're going to be safe. However, the Cadillac CTS offered 13 cubic feet of rear cargo room. So there's not much of a difference at all when it comes to cargo space. But with the CT5 being a 2020 model year, it's now subjected to the new standards of measurement by the Society of Automotive Engineers. So while on paper it's closer to 12 cubic feet, I'd say looking at it, just eyeing it and looking at what other competitors are offering, this is closer to 15 cubic feet, which would be right in line with most of its competitors. Now, people would say, oh, but what about the BMW 3 Series? Well, the BMW 3 Series came out last year in 2019 before the new standards of measurement. So most likely the new CT5 is right in line with most of its competitors in this segment when it comes to practicality. Now, before we end this review, I want to focus on a few things about the CT5's interior that stand out to me. Let's start off with the center console. Now, everything you want to use, all the buttons you want, are all within arm's reach and all in the center console, which I think is a pretty good design, but it's also cleanly laid out. You have your wireless phone charging pad here along with your 2 cup holders, but more eye-catching is the rotary dial and quick access buttons for your infotainment system. We did not see this in the CTS last year, which when it comes to a vehicle that's going to compete against BMW and Audi, you really need to have this same layout. And of course, Audi and BMW have a rotary dial along with their touchscreens with quick access buttons. So this is a very welcoming sight to see. You also have your drive mode selector and your auto start stop button, which I would always have off because I don't really like having the car stop or shut off on me while I'm driving or when I'm stopping at a red light. But also something too is that with physical buttons for your climate control settings, everything is right there and cleanly laid out. And it actually has a very similar layout to what you would see from German competitors. So just when it comes to the infotainment system's layout and its button layout, this is actually on par with what we would see from BMW, from Audi, and also from other competitors in this segment as well. Now, when it comes to comfort, these leather seats provide a good amount of bolstering, but also they're very supportive as well. And as an option, you can get massaging seats, would be very nice. But I want to end the interior on this note. Now, the seating position really stands out to me the most here because whether it was the CT5 in New York or the CT5 in the showroom that I checked out yesterday, the seating position is actually rather high. And I thought that maybe shorter people checked out the car and they adjusted the seat up. Whereas I get the key to this car today and the seating is no different. Now, when it comes to American luxury cars, they've always had the characteristic of being having a hood higher up and being further out. Whereas German cars have a lower hood line and it's a little bit further down and it slopes more, where you can see a little more of the front end of the car. Now, that was always a concern for me when it came to American luxury cars and one of the things I didn't like. However, with the CT5, I have a pretty good vision here. I have a pretty good field of vision, and I can see the front end of the car. especially where the CT5 is a bigger car than some of its German rivals. That actually is something that really stands out to me and something that I like. So if you are moving away from a German car and getting into American cars for the first time, or if you have an older Cadillac or older American luxury car that you're looking to upgrade to a CT5, what you are going to notice is that when it comes to front vision, you're going to be able to see the front end of the car, but also it has more of that European characteristic to it where the hood line isn't as high and it's not as further out. So just when it comes to field of vision and the driving aspect, that's something that I really like about the CT5. Now, at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that Cadillac has a winning formula on their hands. The car looks amazing, it really does. Its road presence is a lot better than the CTS it's replacing. But also, it provides a good amount of luxury features at a very affordable price. And one of the issues that Cadillac has always had is that they can't reach, and they're having a hard time reaching, a younger demographic of consumer, which with the CT5 and later with the CT4, I think that problem really is no longer an issue, because with this price range, or with the CT5 starting at $37,000 and also with this one being at $50,000, it just is a really good package overall, especially where you get a V6 for around $47,000 to $48,000 with the premium luxury, and then the V series, which gets a V6 as standard, starts at $50,000. So pricing is definitely on point, and then luxury itself is just really way and above its competition at its price range. Now, after spending a few hours with this car, I want to say that the CT5 really doesn't resemble any of its competition at all. And in fact, I'm going to stick with my opinion on this and say that the CT5 is a Grand Tour. Just when you look at seating position, but also the rear seating situation as well, where it's more suitable for 2 passengers rather than 3, and also the fact that it's much bigger than the BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, and Mercedes-Benz CT100. This car really is, for its price point, one of the best options you can get if you're looking for a daily driver or a car that you drive constantly on a daily basis. This right here really offers something that you're not going to see from German rivals in the segment. So when it comes to that perspective, I think Cadillac is onto something here, and as I said before, I think they do have a winner on their hands. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.